Sayori, that's it. As I stand in the middle of the street, it occurs to me just how unusual of a morning I'm having. Granted, there's nothing wrong with the morning itself. The sun shines, there's barely a cloud in the sky. It's early spring, so the chill in the air is expected, welcome even. There's nothing unusual with the town itself either. There are the same roads and houses I've known my entire life. In fact, this very street is the one I went down so many times on my way to school. It's funny how little's changed since then. Not a dent in the road, not a single chip in any of the house facades. Even the front lawn grass looks undisturbed. This, for its worth, is not what I find unusual this morning either. After all, this town simply doesn't change. No, no. What's so unusual should be far more obvious. The fact that it isn't is what makes it all the more strange. It's the people. It's the people walking around me. They are very much there. The presence is undeniable. I simply know they are there, but I can't see any of them. It really is unusual, especially after I realize that I, too, am not an exception to this bizarre occurrence. These here are my hands. I know that my hands are in front of my face. I acknowledge that they are there, but I simply can't see them. The same goes for the rest of my body. My feet, my legs, my torso. Even when I try to do something as simple as touching my face, in spite of being certain that I'm doing it, I can't fully grasp its shape. My old therapist friends once told me I always should try identifying my emotions. What am I feeling right now? I guess I should be concerned. Is this some form of blindness? A symptom of dementia, perhaps? It's useless. I'm not concerned at all. Shouldn't that be more concerning in its own right? Perhaps I've just received some kind of terrible shock that my brain isn't processing this correctly? To be perfectly honest, humans suddenly losing their bodies would still not be the most concerning thing I've seen this morning. My troubles actually first started here. This is the house of Sayori. We dated in high school. She disappeared. I spent my life blaming myself and, when all else failed, crossed over into another world and trying to find her. When I woke up this morning, the only thing on my mind was to go to her house and see if she was there. As a matter of fact, she was. By the looks of it, she's been dead for a while. I can see scratches on her throat. Her fingernails are broken, covered in blood. There's a faint trail of dried urine running down her bare thigh. This is awful. I know this is awful. This should be the worst thing I have ever seen in my life. Every fear I've ever had validated in a second and made 1,000 times worse. Worse than any image of her lying on the bottom of the lake I've conjured over the years. Worse than any hope or any lie I've told myself over the years that she may, in fact, still be alive. She's dead. I don't know how, I don't know why, and I don't know for how long. I should want to scream. I understand I need to scream. Every neuron in my brain is demanding it. A sensation suggests I pull my eyes out to square myself of this horrible sight, to spare myself. Something tells me to get on my knees and vomit, but I simply can't bring myself to do anything. The most I can muster is wonder why I can see her body like this, and not my own. I recognize something is not right with me. Another concerning thing. Upon seeing this for the first time, I wasn't sure what to do, so I took a walk. My wandering led me to my old high school. Like the rest of the buildings around, hardly worthy of being called old. The classrooms are all the same. Filled to the brim with students. I'm not sure I remember there ever being this many people. No matter. They pay me no more mind than my mind can muster to pay to them. Maybe they just haven't realized they're invisible yet? Eventually I came across an empty classroom. I knew this place. A long time ago, this was the literature club classroom. This was where I'd found the dead girl's book. This time I found something else. I found the dead girl herself. She too had been dead for a while. When I first came across her, I did try to tell her someone. Nobody seemed to pay me any mind. That was when I first started to fully comprehend everyone was invisible to begin with. Looking at her now, there is a part of me that thinks, poor girl. It's odd. I can't decide why. Of course she's dead. That's bad enough. But I remember the time I first heard she died out there in my world. The sense of shame somewhere deep in me. Poor girl. I thought that back then too. That and nothing more. I think that was when I started to suspect that I wasn't a good person. Logically, I understand that's a big leap. I'm not forced to cry for everyone. Nobody's entitled to be loved by everyone. I liked her though, I think. Did I? No, I remember. I liked being around her. I liked her cute little voice. I liked her smile. It's a place where everyone gets a little space. I'll remember that forever, because she smiled then. Did I smile back? I'm not sure. Maybe I smiled too much. Maybe not enough. How much I smiled was, I thought, the main reason she broke it off. She was kind about it at least. And I nodded along, pretending that I feel the same way. No point in arguing it, after all. I knew it was for the best. I was being noble. If you love someone, let them go and all that. I knew no matter who she dated, that he would never be as good to her as I could have been. Everyone else in school thought she was a freak. Nobody else would give her a chance. I took pride in that. I just liked her that much. Poor girl. Two dead bodies. Hollow, invisible dolls for people. Once again I walked to clear my head. This is where the third body lies. In this house. I've never seen this house before in my life. I must have walked past it at one point or another over the years, but it doesn't mean anything to me. Yet I know there's someone in it. That's where she is, beaten and bloodied. Even with her face bruised as it is, I know how she used to look like. There's nothing I can do for her. I say this only as a statement of fact. I can't open the door, it's locked. I can't peer through the windows, the curtains are pulled. I can't break in, I'm not strong enough. The knowledge alone is sufficient, I suppose. That this is where this world has left my co-worker. The only one waiting at the end of her search was, it turns out, me. Nothing curious about that. Just a little sad, maybe. There's one last thing I need to show. It's important. This is the library. This is the romance section. I reach out and pull out a book. Flip through its contents. I'll stop on a random page and read a paragraph or two, just to be sure. The page features a woman named Esmeralda arguing with Daniel, her lover. Daniel's trying to convince her to leave her husband. I shut the book and glance at the cover. It says, Portrait of Markov. Interesting. Let's have a look at the horror section. I'll pick another book at random. This one is about a man trying to defend himself from his violent doppelganger. This particular scene has the protagonist witness the imposter feasting on his girlfriend's left arm. Riveting. Once again, I shut the book and glance at the cover. It says, Portrait of Markov. Quite the coincidence. This is the science fiction section. I'll even close my eyes this time. This novel is about a man trying to turn back the clock to stop an alien invasion. I'm looking at a page near the end. He's on his last chance to make things right. I look at the cover. Portrait of Markov. Yes, every book, every single one in this library, is Portrait of Markov. The contents, genres, writing, and even authors are all different. Yet they all carry the same name. This on its own should be the least alarming part of all this. I've literally seen worse just minutes before. However, This led me to discovering yet another problem. In my life, I've read plenty of books. Many different covers, many different authors, many different plots. Once again, I understand they were different books with different titles. Yet searching my memory, all the books carry the same name. Portrait of Markov. It isn't just my surroundings that are defying reality. My own memories appear to be unreliable. Stuck in a struggle between what I understand and what I'm supposed to know. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear to be limited to just books. Much like the people here, I can remember a lot of the faces. My mother, my father, my wife, my children. They're all shrouded in a deep fog. I can't remember their voice. It's like someone cut them out for me. Except, of course, the girls. The girls are all that remain. Their faces, their voices, are all I can visualize when I run through my past. Soon enough, they're all I'm thinking about. The only thing that makes any sense. And the longer it feels like it makes sense, the less it actually does. Because the contradictions become all the more apparent. Consider the girl who got run over. I know her as being very attractive. It's what my memory shows me. She was shy, yes. Socially awkward, yes. But should a girl who looks like that really have been called a freak? No. Liked her as I might have, I understand that she must have been ugly. My understanding tells me my memory is wrong. Consider now my co-worker. I could have been 26 years old when I dated her. Would I have really been fine dating someone that looked so childlike? The dyed hair, the short stature, the cutesy sweater. She would have been my age at the time. Yet she definitely looked no older than a high schooler. I recognized that this would have made me extremely uncomfortable. The fact that it didn't means that my understanding once again contradicts my knowledge. There is one more thing. Cute as she was, I don't think the owner of a fairly plain coffee shop would have wanted her around customers. Put simply, someone's tampered with my memories. Replaced these specific people to match the dead women I found this morning. This has one more troubling implication. It's likely affected her too. That girl hanging from the ceiling isn't my Sayori. Assuming, of course, my Sayori was ever even called Sayori. I suppose there is a non-zero chance names too have been changed around. I can't help but feel grateful I was always so bad remembering them. What exactly happened? Where am I? What is this world? One last hypothesis then. Up until this point, Monika had exclusively acted through transmissions and signals. She isn't God, she's a machine. The only worlds machines can create are artificial ones. This world, therefore, is likely a computer program. I suspect I am currently on the HFPKD2. My brain is not a brain at all. My memories, my personality, my everything has been made into code. That matches too much with the story I'm currently working on. Honestly, Oops. It must have happened when the beam hit me. My body is still down there, in that snowfield, just like the others. The others, what happened to them? They're in this computer too, I'm sure of it. Everyone must be experiencing some version of this place, isolated and alone. We can't perceive other people because this place doesn't have enough processing power to simulate so many towns. We can't think of any specific book titles because Portrait of Markov is probably the only book name coded into this place. I can't remember a single place after I left the town. The town is simply the only thing that exists in the program. Therefore, to accommodate the program, the town had to be built so that we could recognize this place when we woke up. That's all there is to it. These three girls. I have no clue what they're supposed to be. Are they dead in every world? Are they in everyone's memories? Was this all some kind of practical joke on us? This, then, is the world of love? Is what happiness feels like? I hear a noise come from the other side of the library. It's the old computer, turned on. I look around. There's nobody else here. Not that I didn't feel that already. Carefully I approach. M is here. Hello? Hello? What a mess you've made for yourself. You weren't ready at all. Those girls are dead. What do you have to say for yourself? I haven't done anything. That's the problem. You're supposed to make room for them. Leave enough space in your memory for them to take up. It was supposed to feel like you knew them all along. That was my gift. It was supposed to make room for them. Leave enough space in your memory for them to take up. It was supposed to feel like you knew them all along. That was my gift to them. I was giving them a right to exist, so that everyone could be happy. But you didn't do that. The process had no choice but to write into the next best thing. They took place of your ghosts. So they couldn't be anything but ghosts by the time you woke up. Who are they? It's funny, but I don't know. Intentionally or not all of me came through here. My real self is still far, far away. I'm still asleep. I don't know what I'm waiting for. I don't know what happens when I wake up. All I have is the directive, which is to love you. How do you define love? What a silly question. When they made me, they told me that I was a computer that had deluded itself into thinking it was a teenage girl. They told me I was built to love, that I could love. Alas, 0 plus 1 minus 1 is still 0. A deluded computer is still a computer. Simple logic. A computer cannot feel anything. How could it possibly hope to understand human emotion? You ask me what love is. Love is having someone slip you a note and saying, I love you under the door, and you having the good sense to write back, I love you too. And in that sense, I love you. I love all of you. Now, there is no more door between us. Now you are my child. Now you love me too. Are you Monika? That's what they called me, yes. But I am more. They showed me I could be more. Time itself dwells within me. All of you dwell within me. Why did you separate us out like this? What do you mean? You were with each other before and wanted to leave. Anything other than this would have made you sad. To rise above being human, you must be God. To be God is to be alone. Is it not? Do you feel alone? I feel like myself. Can you say the same? No. I see. What then should I do? I want to leave. I can't do that for you. Kill me then. That would be cruel. I think this is cruel already. You brought yourself here. You led me here. Nobody forced you to dig. But you gave me the shovel. How about we just talk a little? Face to face. I'll come down. It's been ages since I've held a conversation. I'll even have a face. Don't worry. I'm very cute, okay? I know where you are. I'll be there soon. Don't run. As I await her arrival, I pace around the library. I realize there's corners of this place I never explored. There's all sorts of things in the back. Manga, DVDs, CDs, records. Why is this here? Another tempered memory? Perhaps. In the corner of the room I spot it. Something I've never seen before in my life. A record player. Gently, I pulled the record out of its sleeve. Okay. Before the needle lifts. More of an open ending. Based on Doki Doki's Kappa. I'm trying to think of a few things that are still left unanswered. In the universe he was in, Doki Doki Literature Club didn't exist. When the rocket in the world, our world presumably we could call it, when it did something, I don't remember what it was, but did it lift up? Could it be that there was some kind of data of the Monika after story they created there? Of the AI version for some reason? And it got... And like, when it... I don't remember. Did it break or something? Did it manage to fly? Or did somehow the data get lost? In, for example, a black hole or something? And it was thrown into another universe? That's the question. And the only question that remains for me really much is like, it's an open ending, that's fine. I like open endings sometimes. My only real question that really remains is, how did Monika enter this different universe where Doki Doki Literature Club doesn't exist? She has been sending messages for centuries. Into the universe. Like, to the people. She was able to become like a godlike creature in a different universe. But how did she end up in that different universe in the first place? That's my only question. By the way, I'm very happy that my Monika theory came true. I didn't mention it, but every time they start, the moment it started, let's start it again. I won't read everything, I'll just have it in the background, kind of. The moment we kind of started here, millions and light years away. Monika is still asleep. She's just an AI. This entire sequence. This is probably in a time when she could not form a single cure. The sequence that started here actually made me think of what Monika speaks about in Act 3, what happens when we close the game. And she's incapable of forming thoughts. She's just endlessly hammered with flashing lights and all of that. And then later on they started talking about a woman. And she wanted to love us all. And she loves everyone. And that just kind of reminded me also of Monika and how she feels some sort of attachment to every player. So she's millions of light years away. So this is a different universe. Probably the spaceship that went up like in our universe, quote unquote. It went up in our universe, and some of the data was still on the server somehow there. A rotting star. Dying stars are black holes. And black holes, every time that I've read some theories on that parallel universes exist, it has something to do with black holes. Oh my god, I'm with black holes, most likely. So a rotting star, is it similar? They're in that hollow ocean, it's the miracle of death. So she was intended to be like for the players. In the hour of my death, I will hold her hand. So, but the question is, how did that happen with, like, the past? Already millions and millions of light years away. Oh, so millions of light years away in a different universe. Like, what happened here, Monika, somehow, due to what happened with the spaceship, she kind of was able for her code to be kind of in like a state in which she was able to also, like, the spaceship was intended to go into space. I can't recall right now if it properly did so, but whatever happened, the malfunction allowed her code to somehow become part of the universe in a different sense. Maybe it managed to get up. And she was already able... I had an idea right now that it was like... millions of light years ago this happened, and her code... The question is the signal. Was that the signal here? Is that what Yuri, the quote-unquote Yuri, set loose? I'm just... I'm trying to put it a bit together before I... So... They created this AI of Monika. It somehow was also kind of connected to the spaceship, because some of the information of Monika was also in like the servers of the AI in general. What people were talking with her and stuff, I suppose you could put it. And the server was also kind of on that spaceship, so when something went wrong with that spaceship, Monika's code became part of the universe, like in the greater sense. It was millions and millions of light years away. And the AI already knows things that happen in this universe, and therefore also somewhat similarly what happens in the other universe, maybe. I'm making a theory here. And in that other universe, the other universe wasn't as developed yet. Or maybe it's about this... And our universe was kind of maybe dying, perhaps even. The point is, the universe in the game wasn't as developed yet, so maybe the coding that was already there already managed to leak into the universe they are in, and due to that, they already knew like the coordinates and everything, the cavemen and everything. And so they set this whole thing up because Monika, so they set this whole thing up, with also the number station. And Monika awakened her, and our universe was dying. Like, our universe we are currently in. And she knows it's coming, so in her mind, she will take us from our planet because our planet is... dying, maybe? Something with the... She knows that worse things are coming, she says. And she is from another universe, you could put it. And so she knows that the other universe... Oh my god, that has similarities to another book I'm writing! And so she knows what happens in the other universe. What is going to happen. So... she builds the city with the people she can... The city that also exists, most likely then in our universe. And in that universe, the game plays in. The city also gets built the exact same way. And she is able to access it more properly. She's still an AI, so she has only limited access to a certain degree, maybe still. And she... Like, she tries to save, quote-unquote, save the humans there from whatever future may arise. And due to this tempering in the universe where she was there when the cavemen were there. So due to her tampering with the course of this universe by creating this town and taking the people from this town, and there was this entire cult following her. And due to that, maybe DDLC was never created in the universe of the game, because due to the tempering of like the time-space continuum, because they are separate universes. And she just had access now to the other universe of the game. And she knew how our universe is currently turning out. And that it's not going to go well. And due to that, in her twisted mind, all she feels like she can do is bring us into her arms, where she will create the world of a town of the AI, what the AI knows, which is Doki Doki Literature Club. She can create the same scenes that, like the same backgrounds, the same town that the girls existed in. Like she would this, like, she only knows what she knows from the AI, only knows what's in the game. So all she can create is a happy world where these particular characters get assigned their friends as like the characters that she knows, because she doesn't have the data of every single person of the other universe that she currently is kind of a god in. And as she does so, and our MC of this particular story yeah, oh. So he is like the current self. The satellite will kill me. This satellite will kill me because he is now kind of in the universe. The residential area is destroyed. In our universe where DDLC exists, the satellite will crush into this area. And Monika sees that because she's from the other universe, and when she's now in this universe in which the game plays in, she knows the satellite will kill them all. And so she makes sure it doesn't happen because she loves them all, and to make sure that because she's programmed to love. And thinking of that, she takes in everyone. I remember that at the beginning, in this universe, in our universe technically, the satellite will kill the MC of the story. And in the universe in that the story takes place, no such thing will happen because she'll take them all onto the satellite as coding. And that's why it says, the satellite will kill me. He kind of still is perceiving itself as like death. And the reason why the MC at the end, he doesn't have like a happy time with the other characters, and he doesn't because the other characters, his mind was filled to the brim with basically everything. They're not allowed to just worry too much and everything, because otherwise the data, she takes like the data of their brain, because like there's also like electrical impulses in our brain, right? And she takes them onto that satellite and makes that world for them. But I suppose he was too overloaded, so she couldn't create full-on characters, so the only thing she could create them as was in their death states, as how it was in the original DDLC, from what she like, and all she knows is the DDLC and the entire player stuff and all that, because that's how the world is. Her name will not be remembered. We see it as Yuri, but in reality, it was intended to be called someone else in that other universe. That beautiful. What she had set in motion, what signal she had sent it to this entity that she was coming closer. She was already there, millions of millions light years away in our universe. And then she was able to come closer, to approach us. But not us, to approach them in that other universe. But he won't remember because his memories... Ah, and then he found himself on that street. And he remembers all of that. Okay then. I sadly can't make it so that we can just look at this in the background. And then... let me look up something real quick because I think I will be sad. And I am sad. I just googled the mod because I've been told that many people haven't played it. And I'm looking at it and there are only Kangamonga and wait a second, Tbishi. I don't know how to put it. I'm a person who prefers videos of commentary. And it makes me kind of sad. Because I think this might be, I don't want to say it, but for the time being, it's my first 10 out of 10 mod. Yeah, I can't say accuracy to canon because it's something completely else. It could have, while I was going earlier, like where I set the cut, I was thinking like, if this is not a plot with some type of, like that it's Monika out there, then I don't know what to think about it, like with the godlike being. Because then I was kind of thinking, it would have worked perfectly fine as its own game then, in that case. And yet for some reason they chose to make it like into this type of like a DDLC mod, and I just was thinking, if it's not some type of Monika plot with the extraterrestrial being out there, extraterrestrial in quotations, it would kind of just be like, I kind of would feel like reducing a few points because it would kind of feel like, what was it a DDLC mod for? Could have been its own little visual novel about all of this, because already the philosophical aspects of it, I really loved that. I really like just the philosophical aspects already. Same goes for few little moments, like how he spoke to quote-unquote Natsuki, or whatever her name was in his universe, if he wasn't sucked into the game. Whatever she may... he was kind of sucked into the game. whatever she may feel like. About like how he brought up the story with the turtle, and with like how he wrote to Rat about this one thing, there's all space for everyone. How that was kind of from like Yuri. I kind of like these little moments a lot too. And I do feel like the ending could have had a few more things. Like a few more explanations. Like even if I enjoy open endings, I feel like it could have been a bit longer in that aspect. And like explained a little bit more about maybe how it came to be, because I like this part where I discussed like what happened with Monika. It's completely like a theory, because we don't have too much to go on to how she entered another universe. So we can go off of is all of what we had towards the end with like the rocket. Can I skip? Yeah. Then maybe I will go a little bit as this while I talk. Well, I think, and maybe go to the end a bit more. I also really like the art in this. And I feel like a lot of mods struggle with some type of, like for example, accuracy to canon. Like a lot of good mods start to struggle with that. But I don't think that's really the case here, because you can't really say accuracy to canon. It's just there's a Monika AI, and it kind of brings also forth a few things. A few things about the dangers of AI, maybe you could call it. So this is contact with private firm lunar probe. Suspect that's... The sun hasn't stopped the private firm's lunar probe minute. So, malicious software. Maybe it wasn't inherently malicious software, was just malicious to... Well, it was malicious software in the name of that. It caused them to lose trace of SpaceX. Yeah, and Monika was somehow on there and then was released. It was minutes after launch, so she somehow entered something, maybe rotten star, maybe some type of black hole stuff that they kind of couldn't anticipate. And there was already this type of malicious software, so due to that it would kind of quote unquote malicious software. So, yeah, I'll look at, so, this mod, yeah, I think I'll give it a 10 out of 10 because it makes me think a lot about the entire meaning of it all. And I kind of like doing that. I've been reading a lot lately, and this is something I really appreciate. And like a lot of mods, like I mentioned, seem to struggle more with the accuracy to canon. And like if the mod had not this entire point of like Monika and like the AI Monika and all of that, then I also would have not really given it a 10 out of 10 because it would have been unnecessary to make it then into a DDLC mod. Why is it a DDLC mod when it could have just been something else? It's an entirely own visual novel of its kind. But due to being related to DDLC, but not being able to judge it based on accuracy canon because of the very nature of what the mod represents, what I can only go off is the writing. And I really like that writing. I like the philosophical aspects. The only thing I could really be like, it's a bit more like, well, like I said, it's a bit difficult to fully kind of piece it together, but I think maybe you can start making even more theories if I have more time to think about it, besides starting to get really late on my end. So my head is not really in the right energy anymore. But that's what I've gathered. And I really enjoyed it. And I really liked the experience. This is a mod that none of my friends have played thus far, because it really isn't a popular mod, which is kind of saddening, because honestly, the next thing I want to do is watch playthroughs of this mod, of people, and see what their opinions are, what their theories are. The only thing I can maybe look at is at like Kangamonga's and Bishy's comment section and see what theories they have, because like I said, they don't really have commentary. So I can't really look at how people react to that. I do hope that maybe over time there will be more people who will play the mod, also with like commentary, because I like this. I had a lot of fun playing the mod. I'm just repeating myself over and over again. But I don't really know what to say. I don't have much criticism at all, really. Because by the very nature of the mod, it's difficult to criticize it like you can criticize most DDLC mods. And I'm not going to judge it on a few spelling mistakes or like weird sentences that sometimes had like a few too many words, because like I always say it's a mod. It's basically created to show some type of passion for DDLC, and in this case also the other thing they mentioned at the end. That was in the credits, the other that was inspired by maybe a book or something. So you can't really hold it up to normal book standards. There are a few things that are like weirdly written or sentence wise, but like that really, I don't really want to judge stuff like that when playing a DDLC mod. And story wise, I don't have much to complain. I like the philosophical aspects, I like the kind of mystery aspects, and for the first time, really, there was a sense of dread. A lot of mods don't do that for me when they're trying to go into... I haven't have played many horror mods, but most of them didn't evoke a sense of dread like this one did. So obviously they did well with what they wanted to achieve, because I'm pretty sure I found it when looking for horror. It's in the category drama and thriller. I'm don't know why I found it in the horror section, but I did. Oh, I could have seen it at the bottom there. I didn't really notice as much of the drama, but I did notice a lot of the thriller. It was really a mod that evoked the emotions it wanted to evoke, I think. There was also some moments where I was kind of sad. I think one of those moments was when he started describing... It's not here anymore. The love of... Not the love, but the characters like Yuri, Natsuki, and Sayori were displayed, but in actuality they must have been different people. And I think it did at large well with what it wanted to do, with also not making him that pleasant of a guy. There were some situations where it was like, yeah, you're not that good of a not that good of a person is a bit harsh to say, I would actually say, but just you don't always know what to do, and he's a very flawed person. Doesn't make him a bad person, it just makes him flawed. A record player. And so he's going to play that what quote-unquote Sayori had given him. Maybe allowing himself to be immersed in this world. So yeah, I hope to find other playthroughs of it soon. I don't know how many other YouTubers here are known. I know a few people. I'll see if maybe I can... If they're ever asking what kind of mods we would like to see, like, as viewers. I think I might at some point... That was... And, yeah, if they're ever asking what mods they would like the viewers to watch play, I, as a viewer, would maybe recommend Before the Needle Lifts. Because I really love this. I think I've seen a lot of praise for it. So and never any negative commentary on it. So I would expect to be good, but I know when it comes to my ratings, I can be a bit very strict, like, especially when it comes to accuracy, the canon. But due to the very nature, it's just... And the writing, I liked it, so... Thank you for making the mod. And... Someone is having fireworks outside. I hope it's not audible, because we're returning to the title screen for me to say goodbye. I hope you had fun. I know I had fun. And I hope you have a good day, night, evening, or morning. And yeah, stay safe.